Welcome, welcome, everyone, to Friday Night Live with John.
And Patty.
And if you could all mute your devices, that would be helpful to us. And want to start off by congratulating Michelle Pratt on winning the recipe of the week on our Facebook page. Excuse me, we got difficulty.
That's
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So, getting to look on my keyboard. My announcements. I don't know if that one will come up first, but we are having a Facebook, our private Facebook page recipe contest. So if you're not on our private Facebook page, join us. The link was on the email that went out this week, and you can post a recipe, you get a point. If you post a recipe and a picture, you get 3 points. If it's Candida friendly, you get another point. And then at the end of the week, so it's Wednesday to Tuesday. And at the end of the week, we'll pick the top three and then we'll put it out on a poll for everyone to vote for the winner. And the winnings could be Alternative Health Cash, which is what Michelle won, or your choice of service, or whatever John feels like giving out that day. So if you have a favorite recipe, get it out on our Facebook page and you might win. All right. So that's that. Why is my keyboard not working? All right. Our next Zoom call is Friday, September 25th. It's moved back a week because we will be out of training the week before. And as always, on our Zoom calls, we want to talk about things that you want to talk about, you want us to talk about, you want to learn about. If you've got any ideas, please let us know. We don't ever get ideas. I think one time we got an idea from Judy, so I guess we're doing an okay job and you guys are happy with what we're talking about. But if there's something you want to hear about, please let us know. We are doing a group detox starting Labor Day week. So you can start Monday on Labor Day, you can start the Sunday before Labor Day. But that week we're gonna try to all get together and sorry.
let us know what day they're gonna start.
Okay. So when you're ready to get your supplements, let us know what your plans are and we will all detoxify together. Group presentations, John likes to talk. If you've got a church group, a women's group, a men's group, any group, kids group, we'd be happy to come to you and talk about what we do and detoxing and health and natural wellness and everything that we're all about. So we are shut down from the afternoon of September 17th through the 21st. We will be in Utah, we'll be in Ogden at Systemic Formulas. Most of you know that Systemic Formulas is a bigger part of our product line now since Melise closed. So they've got a 3.5 day seminar going on out there. So John, Liz, and I are all going, so there won't be anyone in the office. So we'll remind you again in a few more weeks to plan accordingly so you can get your supplements and get scheduled either right before or right after. And I don't know what that means. Hang on, sorry. Well, technical difficulties tonight. Yep, she's on. Right there. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And oh, and speaking of detoxing, so we have a detox reward that we offer. So if you detox 3 times within a 9-month period and you have proof of purchasing 3 separate detox, kits, you can just be rewarded rather with either a complimentary foot bath and body wrap or a contour light session. The wrap and foot bath is valued at $100 and the contour light session is valued at 125. So there is a QR code that you can find in it was in the email that's we sent out recently. We have it around the office. I didn't put it on the PowerPoint, but it's right here. So if you want that information, want to know how to submit, just let us know. And I'd be happy to share that with you. And
Keep talking. I'm gonna grab something.
I'm just about done here, mister. So, let's see. Oh, there it is, detox reward. I don't know, kind of off my game tonight. I don't know what's going on. But all right, lots of things. I had lots of announcements. So we're gonna get going with our presentation in a minute. And hopefully everyone is enjoying the last few weeks of summer before kids go back to school or school buses get back out on the road. So that'll be the thing for us. All right, we're going to talk about emotional health, emotional wellness, figuring out our brains. I'm going to turn it over to John. Get him in the picture here. Then I'll grab my keyboard.
Okay. Hello, everyone. We're going to talk about emotional health and how the brain works, what it does to our physical health, as well as our emotional health. So very important that we understand that everything is connected. So I want to kind of break it down into some things about why things happen and what we can do to help ourselves, both physically, emotionally, spiritually, all the way through, because we know, again, everything's connected, and you've heard me say that many, many times. The brain. Can we function without a brain? Some people seem to be able to do it, but in reality, no. If you think about what the brain is nothing more than a 3-pound organ that is so very, very powerful. It runs on basically 20 watts of energy, which is less power than a dim light bulb. Okay. But it outperforms the most massive supercomputers that is known to man. It at pattern recognition, sensory processing, adaptive learning, and it manages all of our bodily functions. And basically, neuroscience shows that individual human neurons function as sophisticated computing devices. And it's not a simple on and off switch, which sometimes I kind of wish it was. So you could turn them off, reset, and let it start over. If you think about the brain's storage capacity, is estimated to be around 2.5 petabytes, which is equivalent to 2.5 million gigabytes. So people that are in the computer industry understand how big that is. Okay. The brain has billions of neurons and trillions of synaptic connections that work together dynamically to hold massive amounts of data. So we hold data from the time we were born all the way through till we die, basically. Okay. But if you think about the size and what the brain can hold, just think of this. The data equivalent of 2.5 petabytes can hold roughly 3 million hours of TV shows. 3 million hours. Okay. They say you could stream continuous video for 300 years without stopping. That's That's the power of the brain.
Hmm.
So when we start talking about the brain, it's no wonder that things just keep on going and getting out of control. And there's so much stuff going on in our brain, but we have to learn how to shut some of that down and let it move and slow things down for us. Okay. Um, how does it work? The brain has neurons. It has roughly 86 billion, that's with a B, neurons. Okay. It has synapses, neurons that connect through more than 100 trillion synapses. So, and it's got about 4.7 bits of information. But the thing is, unlike a computer hard drive, the brain reorganizes its connections during learning, meaning memories overlap and share pathways rather than occupying fixed files. So everything, the brain constantly keeps moving things, and that's what creates things like dreams and different things like that. So for most of us don't understand neurons, but neurons are specialized brain and nerve cells, and they process and transmit electrical and chemical signals. Synapses are the tiny connections or gaps, uh, better known as junctions between these cells where messages pass from one neuron to the next. And then together they form a communication network that controls everything that you think, feel, and do. So when you think about the brain controlling everything, the whole body, okay, and every single organ, every single thing that goes on in our body is controlled by the brain. And that is why it is called a gut-brain connection. So everything from the intestinal tract all through the body and virtually everything that's in the body is controlled by the intestinal tract. So the brain regulates and moves that. When something becomes unhealthy, it just becomes less healthy if we don't correct it and turn the corner. The same thing happens to our brain. So what is the meaning of emotional health? It means understanding, expressing, and managing our feelings. Okay. So again, understanding, expressing, and managing. So when people have trouble expressing, whether they overexpress, become mean, angry, they underexpress, they won't talk, they just hold everything inside, etc. Those are all forms of expressing. And then the emotional health is also how we control or manage these particular feelings. You know, do we get angry too easy? Do we run our mouth too much? Do we just get angry and start screaming at people? And you see all of that. Or do we realize that, you know what, it's not worth the effort and we turn the other cheek? So that's really everything that happens in the brain. And we have to learn to control the brain. As big and powerful as it is not something that runs on its own power. We have the ability to make things one way or the other, but it takes training, it takes thought. And for every single physical issue, there is an emotional impact, okay? A connection, I should say. So many times when we look at certain things happening, and I have a little book that many times I'll sit and when somebody is talking to me about an issue, and I'm going to use mine issues at times, I get stiff hips. And when I look at hip problems, it's emotions is fears of making major decisions, or can have nothing to look forward to, has a lack of emotional and physical self-support. So those are the things that when my hips get tight, I start thinking about, okay, am I coming up to a major decision that I'm not addressing? Am I looking at life wrong and I'm not thinking about the good things I have and I'm just thinking that, because as we age and stuff, we go through thoughts and emotions and stuff of that hit us. Um, or am I lacking the people around me that I need for better emotional or physical support? So those are some of the things and it's got virtually every single um, issue that you can imagine. Okay. So oftentimes, if I see something and we're not making progress, sometimes I'll look at the issue and then go to the emotion and try to figure out is that person having that particular emotion, um, and let them work on the emotional impact to help heal the physical issue, if that makes sense. Okay. So, um, key examples of good emotional health is resilience, meaning bouncing back after a hard time or a major change. Boundaries, learning to say no. How many of you have trouble saying no? Is there anybody? Oftentimes people don't want to say no. They don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. They feel that people depend on them, but you wear yourself out and you lose your boundaries. That drains you and you lose the protection of your own time. Self-awareness, um, knowing why you feel a certain way. Why do I feel this way? And that takes a lot of self-evaluation on our part. Um, Healthy coping, things like going for a walk when you're feeling certain ways, sitting down and writing in a journal, talking to a friend about things and somebody that you can trust, somebody that you know is not going to go and talk to somebody else about your situations. And then keeping good and kind, supportive people in your life. So we're going to find that a lot of it is ourselves, how we think about ourselves, and what we have surrounding us that creates good, positive emotional health. Okay, so let's kind of go into let's go to the next slide there, and we'll okay. Um, so first of all, what what does the brain do? Okay, the brain believes whatever it's told. All right. Whatever we tell the brain, that's what it believes. That's the input. Different than a computer, you can type something into a computer, and that's what the computer will tell you that you put in there. But the brain believes what we whatever we put in it. So you're going to hear this a few times tonight. We have to understand that we first start out with self-talk. If you keep telling yourself, whether it's verbally, your thoughts, that you are not worthy, you will become unworthy. All right? If you tell yourself that you can't do something, you will not be able to do it, period. Because we keep telling ourselves that I can't. We keep telling ourselves, and some of it is caused by perhaps childhood. If you grew up in a family, and it goes both ways, positive and negative. You can see people that are, you might look at them and think, where do they get off thinking that they're so good and mighty? That's what they've been told, and that's what's repeated in their brain by them and probably other people, and they picked up on it and they believe it. And we can say that person's not real bright. You know what? As long as they feel they're bright, they're bright. Okay. Now, if we put ourselves down or somebody's always put us down and tell us that we can't, we can't cook, we can't clean, we can't work, we can't dress ourselves, we can't, do things, we will believe, and it will be in our brain that we can't, and we'll believe it. And the more often we think it, the more impressive it becomes to our brain and the more real it becomes. So what we have to learn to do is we have to learn to talk good about ourselves. and think about ourselves in the right mind. And I know I'll jump around a little bit here, but we have to surround ourselves with people that talk good about us. If you're with people, family, friends, that have a tendency to put you down or make you feel subservient or less than what you should be, you need to separate yourself from them, because you hear it, even though we joke, people say, oh, don't listen to them. But you hear it. You hear it and you start believing. Why would they say that? That person is my friend. That person is a family member. That person is whatever. We start believing it, and it starts becoming so repetitive in our mind that we start repeating it to ourselves. Okay? We start believing it. And that's really what we have to understand. So when active repetition strengthens physical and neural pathways through what they call neuroplasticity, and making those, so that makes those thoughts automatic. So anytime something happens, that's the way we think. All right. Truth and effect. Statements that are heard or thought often enough require less mental effort to process, tricking the mind into viewing them as accurate. All right. And I get around people who tell me, but I'm not this and I'm not that. And I'm, I'm just not basically worthy. They might not say it that way, but that's the inference. And they've begun to believe that. And that's pretty sad. Okay. And the mind treats repeated self-talk as instructions, shaping how you feel, react, and view your own identity. So I saw something the other morning, and I've mentioned this before, that every day you should look at yourself in the mirror and you should talk to yourself positively. You should do it first thing in the morning. The one that I saw the other day said, stand in front of the mirror. You can brush your teeth and then look in the mirror and give yourself a high five. Okay. The other ones that I've talked about before is, which sounds kind of crazy, and both of them sound a little crazy at times, okay, that you tell yourself first thing in the morning when you look in the mirror that you love yourself. And it's called never lie to the person in the mirror, which is you. And if you start believing that and your brain starts hearing that you're going to have a good day, you look good, and you want to do it when you don't look your best. Okay? Anybody can look at you when you're all dressed up and ready to go and say you look great. But you need to hear it other times too. All right? So if I put on a suit and stuff and people say, "Oh, you look really nice." I kind of already know that. All right? It's those times when, when your hair is all messed up and you're not, you got just a t-shirt on or whatever it might be, and you look at yourself and say, you know what, I look pretty darn good. And there's nothing wrong in talking positive about yourself. It's not conceited, because we need to hear it. And if we don't believe in ourselves, nobody else is going to believe it either. So therefore, it all leans the wrong way. And what you have to understand is that 80% of all of our thoughts are negative. That's just human nature. 80% of our thoughts are negative. So if that's the case, we only have 20% to be positive. So we have to use that 20% and we have to keep on working and building that so we believe that 20% over the 80%. All right? That's what we have to do. So you have to shift your mental loops, okay? So you have to notice if you're repeating self-defeating scripts like, I always fail, or, oh, I'm stuck, or I can never catch a break. Okay. Those are some of the key words that people use, and we start believing it. I'm never going to catch a break. I'm always going to be miserable. I'm always going to be sick. I'm always going to be whatever. We have to change that and think, you know what? I may have some issues, but I'm a whole lot better than a lot of the world. And we start going that way. I'm not saying that we're going to say if you feel miserable, you say, I feel great, and you're going to believe it, because you don't feel great. But there's got to be something positive in everything. No matter what it is, there got to be something that we can find that's positive. We have to interrupt the pattern. We have to catch the negative thought immediately and stop or cancel the mental track. Now, again, I'm going to use myself. I like to play golf. Not real good, but I like to play. But when I start playing bad and I start getting down on myself, do you think I play better or worse?
Worse.
Worse. And it spirals. Then I get more upset with myself and I tell myself, why are you even out here? Why are you doing this? And then you get worse because you start believing that you can't do it. And then I feel myself, I'm not even swinging the club the way I know how. It's like I'm chopping wood. Okay. And I have to stop and back up and go, okay, you know how to do this. Just do it. Relax. And then it'll start to come back. All right. So I live it myself. Sometimes people think that people who talk about this stuff have it figured out. Not a chance. Okay. So we just have to understand that. And then you want to insert useful data. Replace the old loop with a grounded supportive statement and practice it daily. Okay. Meaning, if you say things like, I'm stuck, we got to get rid of that, or I can't catch a break. You think, you know what, man, I got lucky that I'm doing this and everything is here versus what it could be. You know, every time I tell people, when people say, I'm not feeling well, I'm sick, I'm this and that, and I tell them, look at other people around you and tell me that there isn't a whole lot worse that could be. And that's a positive thing that we need to start thinking about. Sorry.
Over there. You can put papers on top of it.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So your brain is naturally negative. That's just a fact. And that's that way from the time we're born all the way through life. Our brain will naturally go negative, just like our health, physical health will naturally go bad if we just don't work at it. If we just leave it alone and just let it go, it's going to go bad. All right. The brain is a survival tool. Okay. It is not a success tool. It's there to survive. We have to change it to be able to have success. So every day, tell yourself, I love this life and I'm going to make it work. Okay. Repeat that to yourself. I love this life because this is the only life you have. If you don't love this life that we have, there is no other life. You have to fix it and make it work to fit what you need. But if we go around saying, I hate life, and we all have heard that, people say that, I just hate life. Wow. That's pretty negative, and then after that, normally they'll say, nothing's going to work for me. Well, if nothing's going to work for you, then you've already committed to that. You've committed to the fact that it's not going to work. And therefore, guess what? It's not going to work. All right. And the more you repeat it, the more you build new pathways. So we just keep saying it over and over. I'm never going to get well. I'm not going to get well. I'm not going to lose weight. I'm not going to, and you won't. A lot of times when people sometimes are struggling to lose weight and they finally just go, you know what? I don't care anymore. All of a sudden they start losing weight because they have the tools, they know, but they quit telling themselves that they can't, because we can do anything that we want to. And if you change your thoughts, you will change your reality. So you have to change your way of thinking. You have to. If people think I'm gonna get in an accident, probably gonna get in an accident. Because why? Your brain is so focused on what you just said you didn't want, that's the direction you're going to go. That's what's in your mind. And that's why life becomes so difficult for people because they're always looking at the negative and not looking towards the positive. So confidence, okay? What we have to learn that we have confidence in ourselves. And confidence is a trust or firm belief in our own abilities, our own judgment, or in the reliability of someone or something else. We have to have the trust. It means having little doubt, knowing your strengths, and feeling secure enough to face life's challenges and take action. Now, can we all do everything that we would love to do? No. Okay. I would love to be able to go and dunk a basketball. I cannot do that. No, I don't care how confident I am of it. I'm not tall enough. I don't jump high enough. And there's no way it's going to happen. Okay. But when we talk about confidence, we have to figure out the things that we truly want that's relevant in our life, both physically and emotionally. Okay. And then we have to say to ourselves, I can do that and take the action. So you have to trust in your own general power and capability. You have to have self-efficiency, belief in your ability to succeed at a specific task or goal. You have to have self-esteem, and that's how much you value and evaluate your overall self-worth. That is a big key, self-worth. You have to put yourself first because you are first. If you put yourself last, you will always be last in your life and in other people's lives. It's not being conceited. It's not being overly proud. It is take care of yourself so you can show other people the confidence and give them confidence or the ability to do the things that they want to do. You have to learn to have trust in others. Faith that another person or system will act reliably with you. If you're not around the people that will work with you or support you, you're with the wrong crowd. And a little bit later, we're going to talk about the people we're around. And how do you build confidence? First of all, set small goals. So, in other words, if I go back to dunking a basketball, okay, I want to first say, can I just reach the bottom of the net? Okay, that would be my net first goal. I can probably do that. And as time goes and get a little bit stronger, if I wanted to do that's not necessarily what I want, but I'm using that as an analogy. Then pretty soon you get stronger. And then, but it's small goals. If I said I am going to jump out of the gym, it's not going to happen. And then I get discouraged and say, I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough. You have to stop comparing. Focus on your personal progress instead of looking at others. Do never compare yourself with someone else. Everybody is different. It doesn't make them better. It doesn't make them worse. It just means they are different than you are. Okay. I don't mean different and different, but different than you. Okay. The things I can do, Patty may not want to do or have the desire to do. The things Patty can do, like the computers and all this setup, I have no interest in. I don't want to do it. So I don't want to think, man, I wish I could be like her. And I don't want her thinking, boy, I wish I could sit and talk all day like John does. Okay. Because we're just different people. I feel confident doing what I do and I want to improve on it. And I'm sure on the other side of the coin, she wants to do what she can do and be more proficient at what she does all the time. So quit comparing yourself to others. Face the fears. Okay. Step slowly into uncontrollable situations that'll reduce doubt. Don't jump in head first. Walk in slowly, but keep moving into it. Keep moving. That's like the small goal. And use kind words. Talk to yourself the way you would speak to a good friend. All right? Talk to yourself the way you would talk to your spouse, especially when you first met them. Talk to them the way you would talk to your best friend. Talk to yourself that way, because you need to hear, your brain needs to hear that. You need to hear it because you deserve it. That's confidence. Okay? Positive and negative. You have to understand that one harsh comment outweighs 10 compliments because of a survival mechanism called negativity bias. Now, that means that the human brain, it causes, I should say, the human brain to process and store negative feedback much more deeply than positive input. I will guarantee you that you can remember the negative things that somebody said to you, but you have a hard time remembering the positives. So, example, sometimes people that work for me will say, everything you say, or everything is negative. Everything you say, I'm doing something wrong. Well, you're picking on me or whatever. No, no, no. You forgot the good things that was said. You forgot those because our brain goes negative. So we have to remember when we're thinking about ourselves or talking to ourselves, we remember all the negative. So we want to do so much more positive to balance that out, because positivity is what gives us strength. Negativity reduces us, whether it's self-negative or people around us that are negative. Okay. Now, the science of negativity bias is, it states that in ancient writing, or I'm sorry, ancient wiring, early humans needed to spot and remember threats like predators or social rejections to stay alive. All right. So they needed that information in order to survive. So that was a survival situation, to think of the negative. What is happening? What are the danger is? And chemical response is triggered when we get insulted, and that triggers the brain's threat detector, and it releases stress chemicals that make the memory linger while praise fades fast. So that creates what is known as cortisol. That affects your serotonin levels. Okay. So we can't relax because we're always thinking the negative, the cortisol. What is Patty going to say negative to me next? Okay. What am I going to do wrong next? And when we get in that mindset, I can forget everything she's ever said to me that was positive. There have been some, right?
I think so.
Okay.
Mhm.
But so that just takes over and overwhelms us. So we need to be around people that are positive, but yet we have to also look at that sometimes we need to be showing the right way or things we're doing wrong, but it's not a negative thing. It is a teaching thing. So there's a fine line in there. So they say, there's a gentleman that is a relationship expert. It says that it often takes at least 5 positive interactions to balance out a single negative one. So if you're around somebody and they say one single negative thing about you or to you, it takes 5 positive ones to negate that or to balance it. So if somebody says 10 things negative, that you need 50 positives just to break even.
Wow.
That's a lot of positivity, and sometimes we're not going to get that. So we just have to be conscious of what we say to ourselves and what other people around us are saying. So you become like the people you spend time with. Your habits, your thoughts, standards mirror your environment automatically. So successful people have a tendency to be around successful people. Happy people seem to be around people that are happy. If you take somebody that's unhappy and put them with happy people, they will become happy, and vice versa. Okay. So we have to understand that it's called subconscious habits. You pick up daily routines and shortcuts from others. You don't even know it. It just happens. Have you ever been to a concert or something and everybody's moving and swinging? You might not be a dancer or something. All of a sudden you find yourself just moving with everybody. It's just, or you might even be singing with them. and you think, I just don't sing. But you're around people that do it, so automatically we fall into it. But that same thing can happen with a negativity aspect. If we're around people that are negative all the time, we will become negative. Even the most positive will start to become negative. And groups normalize behaviors. If you're around people that work hard, you're going to work hard. If you're around people that are sloughing off, you'll slough off. So, and then of course, energy levels the same way. High energy, it'll bring your energy up. Low energy, it'll lower your energy. It all about being around the right people, the people that will support you and are the same type that you want to be. Not necessarily what you are, because sometimes we have to change. Sometimes we are negative and we need to get around positive. Okay. So we got to change and work our way up. Too many choices make you unhappy. More options increase doubt, regret, decision, and fatigue. So an example of this is, and I've heard this so many times in this business, I put someone in the Candida program. They do great. I put them on Candida foods. They do great. They feel great. And then they get done with the program. They go, can I eat other stuff? We say, well, in moderation. And all of a sudden, people come back and say, it's harder now. The reason it's harder because you got too many options. It's hard to break and decipher all the options. And that is why when people first come in and they do a program, we say, this is the way you do it, period. No deviation, nothing. And 9 times out of 10, people succeed and do wonderful. But that is why it's so easy to fall off and become unhealthy again, because there's too many choices, too many options. And how much bad is too much bad, or whatever the case may be. And that's in all aspects of our life. So it creates issues, okay? It creates a high mental load. The brain has to work hard to compare every single choice that you have. Small tasks feel too heavy after a long day of choices. So have you ever went home and after a hard day's of work or long day of work and thought, what are we going to have for dinner? And you go, I don't know what to do. Okay. Because there's too many choices. All right. And that creates fatigue, decision fatigue. And then of course, if there's too many decisions and you make this decision, you're gonna think, you know what, I should have made the other, I should have went the other way. I should have chose that instead of this. And that creates regret. And then some people get to the point where they think they have to make the perfect choice every time. There is no perfect choice in everything. There's no perfect choice what to have for dinner tonight, okay? Or breakfast tomorrow morning. There's no perfect. You just make a decision. As long as it's healthy and works for you, that's what you do. Take away all the choices. And that is why people that go to shopping and they go to long aisles or big online stores, they get confusion. And then they end up with buyer's remorse because they see something and they go, oh, wow, I can buy 48 of these for this amount. And they get them home and they go, what the heck did I do that for? I'm never going to use them. Okay, they're going to spoil before I could get to them. And we get into this decision fatigue. And of course, we're on media all the time. All right. That drains us. And the only way to fix it, set strict limits before you look or shop. Pick the first option that meets your basic needs instead of seeking perfection. And cut out unneeded choices in your daily routine. Cut it out. Narrow things down, just like we do when we put people on programs. Narrow it down. This is the way you do it. This is the only way. And then you'll succeed in all aspects of the life that you're trying to make decisions and choices. And it helps to protect the brain. Now, how do we change? Okay. First of all, it changes with you. You have to make a shift in your internal perspective. You have to decide that you want to change. And you have to look at the way you think about challenges and possibilities. You must adapt to situations, and you have to get rid of all the outside opinions. It's about you. It's about what you want to be. It's about what you need in your life, not what somebody else tells you need. And that's one of the things that we struggle with in changing, because people tell us what we should be. People tell us what we should do. People tell us what we should wear or where we should work or what school we should go to and what degree we should get. No, it's about you take charge of your life and decide this is what I'm going to do, regardless of your age, whether you're 18 or you're 88. You just got to say, you know what? This is my life and this is what I want and this is how I'm going to do it. And so to make that shift, you have to notice your thoughts. Spot the old habits or negative beliefs that are holding you back. Find them, think about them. Align your daily time with what matters most to you, not to your partner, not to your children, not to anybody, but to you. And pick one habit, the little habit, and start with something small and repeat it every day and start making a small change. Okay? Whether it's if you're the one that goes home and cooks dinner, you just make that change and say, you know what? When I go home, I open the cupboard and I see something that catches my eye, that's what I'm having. That's what we're making tonight. Done. Okay? Or in the morning before you leave and you say, what am I going to have for get ready? You just open up and say, that's what I'm going to do. And that's what we're going to have for dinner tonight. We don't change our mind. That's just the way it is. That's how we change. We just have to start small and make it work. So changing starts with a decision. Are we going to be better today than we were yesterday? Are we going to be better tomorrow than we are today? That's what we have to do. If we get into the mode that, you know what, I'm okay where I'm at, I'm just going to stay there and be level, you're never going to stay constant. You're either going to go better or you're going to go worse. There is no such thing as staying constant in anything in our, whether it be your health, your relationships, your spiritual beliefs, nothing stays the same. You either get stronger or you get weaker. And that's what we have to work on every single day. How can I get better? How can I think clear? What can I put in my mind that makes me feel better than I feel right now? Pick something positive, a single action. Don't overwhelm yourself and try to change everything at once. Drop the old excuses. Take full responsibility for your current routine and future direction. It's your choice. Don't blame somebody else, whether it happened a long time ago, whether it happened in your childhood, or whether it's happening now. It's your life. And then repeat constantly. Small habits done every day build lasting transformation over time. It takes time, just like getting healthy takes time. Everything takes time. Okay. And why small? Because they rewrite your daily routine. They shift your mindset from comfort to growth, and they compound into massive long-term results. Just like everything you do. You know, think about it. When you went to started school, you knew nothing. Nothing. They gave you crayons and pieces of paper and you scribbled. And you took them home to mom and dad and they said, oh, isn't that cute? Oh, look at that. What is that? Oh, that's you, mommy and daddy. Oh, okay. Sure it is. And you praise. That made the child feel good. And then we continue that, okay? By the time you graduate from college, you know a lot. You're like a computer. You know in the areas that you want to know. That's the way it works. But if you went to school and started kindergarten, knew everything, you wouldn't need nothing, none of the other stuff. It doesn't work that way. So we have to start slowly. We have to start small and keep working, regardless of our age, regardless of where we're at today. We can be better tomorrow. Okay. Real change starts in your mind. Okay. And there is a line from the Bible, from Philippians 4:13. In the New Testament, the Apostle Paul wrote, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. If we put our faith in a higher power, we can do anything we want to. We can make our brain dance if we want to. We can get rid of the negative if we believe that it's not all on ourselves, that we can do it. We have the support, we have the higher power to help us. And that's really what we need to do. We have to, you have to think about what this means. Contentment in hard times. Paul wrote this from prison. He meant he could face hunger, wealth, or pain. Okay? And he said he experienced it all. And it's not a magical wish. It doesn't mean that you can do anything you want. It means that Christ gives you the power to endure and gives you the power to change. If we rely on the higher power, for me, it's the Lord Jesus Christ to help me through each day, then I know I can get through each day. And I know that I can help anybody that wants and will accept help because I'm not doing it myself. I've got the higher power helping me. Okay. And oftentimes people will come in here and later say, I feel so much better. How did you know? I don't. I just rely on the higher power because I know I've got that ability to have the help that I need. So I don't have to do it by myself. None of us do. So when you're weak, say it to find peace. When you face pain, let it give you hope. And when life is hard, trust in God's power. Okay? There is no such thing as can't. Okay, when you think positively, the we believe in ourselves, we can create new opportunities. Okay. You cannot sit around and say, I can't. We can do anything. So get rid of the T. I can do it and I will do it. Okay. Set goals. Okay. Setting clear goals help you stay focused and motivated. Write them down. What do you want? You want a plan, you write out the plan. You want success, you write out the path to success. Okay? Make clear directions so you know what to do next. It reduces stress, so you stop wasting time on small things. It prevents or it progresses in real progress. So you can, if you write things down, you can see how far you've come. That's why when we put people on programs, we tell them right here, 0 to 10, how you start, how you feel, 10 being the worst. And then after 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, you do it again so we can see progress. If you don't write things down, you don't know. And then sometimes when people come, I have them do it again and months later, and they'll say, you were feeling so good in all these areas here, but now you're not. What did you do different that got you well? And the people can relate to that and say, this is, excuse me, this is what I did wrong. Excuse me, I had to get a drink. How do you set goals? Pick your target, not a vague idea. Pick your target. This is what I want. And then write them down. Seeing your goals, make them real. If you just in your head, so for example, when I started my business, if I would have just said I want a business for 25 years, probably wouldn't have happened, okay? You had to have a plan. And then you break down the big tasks. You never want to look at climbing. So if you're climbing a mountain, you don't want to look at the top of the mountain and say, that's where I'm going. You look for each level. So it's a short term. Now, once you get there, you have a victory. Now the next victory is the next level. But if you say, I'm going to get to that top of Mount Everest, you're probably not going to make it because it's way too far. And the brain can't comprehend that. Okay. And then track your results, like I just mentioned a little bit ago. Progress report. Make up your own progress report. Make something up so that you can see your progress and how things are changing for you. Tiny habits result in big results. Start small, achieve big. Everything starts small. Okay. And everything can from getting up in the morning. Drink a glass of water before you drink anything else. Okay. Don't check your phone right away. Don't turn on the news right away. Just look at the beauty of life. Look out the window and see what's out there. Just look at the person you're with and treasure the person that you're with or the home you're in or whatever you have. Look at that first because that's the positive. Those other stuff is the negative. All right. Limit the amount of time you're on your phone. We all know we're going to be on it, but limit. Okay. And I know my phone tells me at the end of the week how many hours I've been on the phone.
Yeah.
All right. So technology tells you. Okay. And if it comes up that you're on for 9 hours a day, you're wasting a lot of time and mental fatigue.
Mhm.
Okay. Focus and set goals. So in other words, use a 2-minute rule. If a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it right now. Okay. My staff hears me say this all the time, finish, because it takes 30 seconds to finish that file rather than putting it aside and having to come back to it. And I know people get frustrated with me at times, but it works. Okay. Slow down during the ordinary daily tasks like eating a meal, even doing your dishes. Slow down. It doesn't have to be rush, rush, rush. We have an employee, and I don't know if she's on today, but I'm going to mention Rachel. Some of you talked to her. She runs like a like a whirlwind sometimes. I got to keep telling her, slow down. It's okay. Okay. I love her to death. But sometimes we just have to slow down, and take it slower because life goes too fast.
Mhm.
Okay. Everything is now, 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 now. We got to slow it down, whether it's working, whether it's a relationship, slow it down. Enjoy the ride. And then, of course, the social media comes up all the time. We just got to stay away from that and help ourselves from doing too much of that. So we go back to how we speak to ourselves. Why? Because you're listening. And if you're listening, you're hearing it. If you're hearing it, your brain is registering it. If it's registering, it's either going to hurt you or it's going to help you. Okay. And we already talked about how the words that we hear, the things that we hear affect us. So the brain believes repetition. Whatever you say becomes normal. Cruel words hurt health. Okay. Because it brings stress and sadness. And when we get stressed and sad, we have physical issues. Kind words build power. Supportive thoughts give you energy and makes you want to try even harder. And it starts to heal. How do you change your inner voice? Just like it is when somebody talks to you. You think about, what is the tone? If you talk to yourself and you're angry at yourself all the time, that's a tone. Don't call yourself names. I have a bad habit of that. Okay. What do I call myself?
Stupid man.
And when I make a mistake, that's my line. You stupid man. And I have to work hard. And sometimes when I do it, I tell myself, sorry, didn't mean that. And I do that. I've learned to do that. Okay. Not because I don't believe I'm stupid, but if I keep telling myself I'm stupid, I'll start believing I'm stupid or I'll whatever. So I have to stop and say, you know what? No, quit saying that to yourself. I wouldn't say it to Patty. I wouldn't say it to other people. Even if I thought it, I wouldn't say it. Okay. So why should I say it to myself? Use gentle truth. Swap, I will always fail, for I can try this a new way. Okay. I can try it differently. And then offer yourself grace when things go wrong. Okay. Just, when somebody does something wrong, you say, you know what, that's okay. Patty, that's all right. Well, it's no big deal. Do that to yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. It's easy to be hard on yourself because it's just us. That's the way we look at it. Just me. Okay. But just me is how you're going to portray yourself to the next person and the next person, etc. And that's how people are going to perceive you. So talk positive to yourself and love yourself. Discipline and patience are the key. Okay, you have to be disciplined. You have to stick with your plan. And sometimes a plan can go awry. It can seem like you hit the bumps in the road. Something came up, something happened. I don't care what happens. You have to keep loving yourself no matter what happens or what anybody says. There is no road that to get to the top of the mountain where you go back down to the bottom and then come back up. You just don't do it. You hold your ground and then you move forward. All right. The worst case scenario, you take a rest break and then for a short period and then you start moving. We don't let anybody push us back down the mountain so we can reclimb the same steps. You have to be disciplined and you have to be patient with yourself. Some people will turn the tide quicker than others. And if you're having struggling, latch onto the people who are doing better and listen to them and watch them because that's how we learn. Why does discipline matter? Because it builds consistency. It blocks distractions and it creates habits. Why does patience matter? It delays gratification. It eases frustration and it teaches us to trust the process. We have to trust it. Whether you're going through a program and you're getting healthy, whether you've done programs and you want to stay healthy, it's all about discipline and patience. And every day is not a wonderful, successful day. There are days that aren't successful. There are days, but those are the days you're learning. You're learning how to deal with adversity. It's not a failure, you're learning. So instead of making excuses, which we've all heard, okay, and I'm using the business, I hear people all the time, well, I couldn't stay true to what I was doing because I was with grandma and grandma cooked. And I just, you can't say no to grandma. Okay. Well, grandma loves you. I guarantee you, grandma loves you. Because grandmas love kids, the grandkids more than anybody. Okay. And believe me, grandma would understand if we communicate and let them know we're trying to take care of ourselves and feel better and look better. Grandma knows. Okay. But grandma also wants to make you happy. And if being happy means you want to take care of yourself, grandma will fall in line. We come up with excuses because that takes away our responsibility and lays it to somebody else. It's their fault, not my fault. It's their fault. I've done it. Okay. We've all done it. We have to stop doing it. So we have to take responsibility. That's how we're going to get ahead. Okay. Positive minds, positive vibes, positive lives. When you change your thoughts, your actions change. And step by step, your life will become better. But you have to change your thoughts. You have to change your actions, what you do. And I'm talking about everything from our mental to our physical to our spiritual. It's all there. We have to change if we want to get better. We change them all, not just one. We change all of them because they all are connected. If we change our mind, we're more open to everything else that's around us. We see better, we think better, we study better, whatever it might be. And life becomes better because we're more open. We're not afraid to look at ourselves and take care of ourselves. Okay. So we have to stay positive. We have to have awareness of what we're doing, right and wrong. We have to make decisions based upon what we want, not what somebody else wants. We have to take action. So we have to have a clear focus, which replaces hesitation with steady, intentional movement. And we have to get momentum. Momentum means small daily wins and building lasting confidence in ourselves. It all comes down to one word. And in the Bible, Paul writes a lot what is best for us. But the most important thing is love. Love. Okay? We have to love. We have to love ourselves first. then we spread that love to everybody else. And that when we have love, we don't talk negative to ourselves or anybody else. The people you love, you're not negative to. That's just the way it is. So please learn to love yourself. And I don't care if you need to lose 50 pounds or you need to gain 50 pounds. I could care less. We have to look at ourselves and love it, but we have to change it. So we fix the flaws that are there so we can love even more. Okay? But if you don't start out with love of yourself, then your brain thinks that you're unlovable. And if you think you're unlovable, everybody around you will think that you can't be loved or shouldn't be loved. So it starts with you. It starts with yourself, myself. I have to look at myself positively. There are days it's hard. There's days I make mistakes and I just go, how could I be that foolish? How could I? But you have to stop and say, you know what? I'm a human being and I don't need to be negative about it. I need to be positive. And that's the way we learn. That's the way we change. That's the way we help other people. And I tell people all the time, if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of anybody else. So if you don't love yourself, you can't love other people. You can be nice to them, you can be all that, but you have to start with yourself. Okay? So think positive, be positive, and love positively. Okay, questions? Thoughts? Okay. All right. Who do we have that has a question or a thought? A concern, a complaint? I don't care. Just speak up.
Something.
Speak up.
See.
Nobody?
Can you hear me, John?
Okay, now I can.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Regina
Hi,
Poltora,
Regina.
and I had someone here at my house. I fully intended to get on your Zoom at the beginning, but I just was able to get on now. So I just wanted to say hello, and I will definitely get on the next one at the right time, and maybe I can chat with you and is it recorded at all that I could watch it later or?
It is. I
Is
send
it?
everyone the link within a day or two. So
Oh, all right,
by
good.
Tuesday, I'll email you everyone the link
Okay.
for the recording.
It's good to see you both.
It's good to see you too.
Good to see you.
Been thinking about you a lot. I just, I need to, I need to get involved. I need to get some help, but, thank you. It's
Okay.
really nice to see both of you, so.
So listen, the best way to get help is to pick up the phone tomorrow and call.
Okay.
Set a time. Don't procrastinate. Don't delay. When we need help, we need to do it when we're thinking about it. Otherwise, life, that big old wave comes and kind of pushes us around and we get inundated with other things.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it all the time, so
Okay.
there's not much chance of that.
Okay.
But
You
thank
pick up
you.
the phone and call.
I will, John. Thank you.
God bless. Who else has a question?
Can we say that?
Yeah.
Yeah, this I will say this was a very good Friday night.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else? Doesn't have to be complimentary. I like the compliments. Come on. My brain says thank you.
John, I loved I'm sorry, I'm driving here with the boys. I loved your session. This was so wonderful. This is Tanya. Dino and Mario, loved your session. It was
Okay.
very
Good.
helpful, very encouraging and very loving of of you to share all this with us. Thank you.
Well, I love sharing and I'm glad people like it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I want to agree also, John. I needed to hear what you had to say today, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Good.
And the thing is that I just hope that some of it you take, you're not going to remember all of it. Maybe you listen to it again, but take a piece and just start working on it little by little. That's the way we improve. Okay. You're not gonna take it all and say, I got it fixed. It's like my golf game. I think I got it fixed and not, nope, I gotta keep working, okay? So just take it slow, but keep working every day. That's what life is about, every day. Anybody have any questions? Heather, you got something? You're leaning into the camera there.
No questions, but it was a very good session.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Don't stay on tune because we're gonna do our drawing here shortly. As soon as we get any other questions out of the way. And we know that we give away the prizes. So you gotta be here to win. You hang up on us, then and we draw your name, you lose.
No, a
So-
couple people wanted to put their comments in the chat. Don says, well, John needed this reminder.
Okay,
Good.
Anna.
Yeah, said this was a great session. Thank you so much.
And I will tell you, Patty put a lot of this together for me and stuff like that. We go over it and we pick things out and try to break it down so it's easier to understand and stuff like that. So it's not something we just do the day of. But Patty does a great job for me and I got to give her all the credit. So, okay, she's wonderful. Somebody's got a hand up. Is that a hand?
No, that's our cursor.
Oh, that's a
It's the
cursor.
mouse
Okay.
rather. Yeah.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, we're gonna do our drawings. Like we do
I'd
ev-
just like to say one thing.
Sure.
I really believe that if it wasn't for my coming and getting on the detox, even though I only did 6 weeks because it was like the next day, I think we found out my husband had a brain tumor.
Mhm.
But when I started, I never dreamed that when you said something about Candida, that it was gonna work against the mold, but it did. And I found out later from, somebody knew it. But if it wasn't for having come and done what I did with the program, I would not have been able to take care of my husband the way I was.
I know.
And I will be eternally grateful for that. Not only for having the energy and feeling good, but for being able to do that. So thank you so
Welcome.
much.
I know it's a hard time, very, very hard time for you. And life can throw some real curves. And so just remember now it's your turn to take care of yourself. Okay? So
Yeah.
we got to get back on that train and get you back, okay?
Okay,
So give us a
all
call.
right.
Okay, that's a deal. Okay. The first prize is $100 of alternative health cash. Use it for anything you want. You have to use it prior to what's the date, 20